Yeah, now just seven people. Let's just say four. Three don't say three. Because four out of seven people waited here like this. Me did here. The person will take the train did here yesterday. The facilitator did here, and the person who will take the second train yesterday did here. So now just three. What was it called? Three participants. Maybe no see this thing go date.
Hello, everyone. I think we can start now. Hello, Victor.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Victor, are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Ridwan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Good afternoon. Ajaisha, are you available? So, Victor, please let's begin with from the 3D interaction. So yesterday we went through ligand and ligand selections and protein selection and the preparation for molecular docking using UCSF Canera. After that, which was presented and the lecture delivered by Mr. Omoboye Victor. Talking with four or five compounds, including the cognate ligand of a particular protein.
We've not used your network. Your network.
Mobile took us through how to prepare complexes using Pyrex and PyMol, and also the 3D interaction. Also, the 3D interaction and the 2D interactions. Profiling, but he was unable to join remains of 3 Victor, kindly.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Please, can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Hello,
I
sir.
can hear you.
Okay, sir. So, we'll be
Well,
continuing. Sir?
Can others hear you?
They should be able to hear me. Yes. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen now so that we can continue from where we stopped and make it as fast as possible.
So, record the session. No?
Yes, I'm doing that, sir. So yesterday we already went over a few steps on visualizing 3D complexes on PyMol. So just to refresh our understanding of this before we go into the practical aspect. So, like I said yesterday, I said our Pyrex have a work folder where it saves all the results of our docking. So the work folder will contain your ligand, it will contain your macromolecule, and it will contain the result of your docking. So when you want to visualize the result of your docking, you have to locate the work folder. When you locate the work folder, you will see a folder. There are three folders that will be there. You have the etc, the ligand, and the macromolecule. When you open the macromolecule folder is going to contain the result, the poses that were generated for the ligand, and the macromolecule that was used for the docking process. And So it's going to contain the macromolecule that was used for the docking process. So what you are going to do after you locate the ligand of your choices, you open it on Pyrex again. So when you open it on Pyrex, you select the best pose. When you select the best pose, then you are going to save it as a PDB file. So then you open the macromolecule as well, you save it as a PDB file. So then you open on PyMol, you open both the macromolecule and the ligand on PyMol. You open the macromolecule first. After opening the macromolecule, then you open the ligand together with it. Then you save the complex as a PDB file as well. So now moving on to the main part. So these are the processes that are involved in 3D visualization on PyMol. So the first thing we are going to do is to change our background color to white and do some other things. So I'll be showing that and I'll be going over the instruction as I go through the practical process. So I'll go back to the folder where I have my complex save. So I copied the complexes to a separate folder for visualization purpose. Then what you just do is you open the macromolecule, which is what we have here. Then you open after this opens, then you open the quercetin as well, which is the ligand. Then you complex and save as PDB, which is going to give us this. Then you open the complex file, you open it on PyMol again, which is what I'm doing right now. It's currently loading. So okay, it's up already. So now this is the complex. So the first thing we are going to do is, as we can see from the slide, the first thing we are going to do is to change the background color to white. And to change the background color to white, we are going to go to the display, then come to background and change the background to white. So after changing the background to white, then we are going to so that we can have more workspace, then we are going to just move this part up a little. So this is the command line of PyMol. So we'll be using it later on. But this is what we are interested in. So the first step is to set the quality of our display to the maximum quality, then to uncheck the valency and the depth Q. And to set the quality of our display to the maximum quality, we just come to display, then we come to quality and click on maximum quality. It's like it just makes the display better. I'm sure we are all familiar with the like when we are watching the YouTube video now on 240p, 480p, and so on. So what this also tries to do is to make the quality of the visualization better. Then the second thing we are going to do is to uncheck the valency. This is the valency. This that we have right here, like like it forming another ring inside the main ring, is what we are trying to uncheck next. So we just uncheck the valency, which is check right here, show valency. We are going to uncheck it and we can see that has disappeared. Then we uncheck the depth Q as well, and we can see that the colors are gradually coming out. So after that, we are going to give our complex a color. Set the color of your complex to any of your choice. So to give our complex a color, just click on C. Like I said yesterday, A means action, S means show, H means hide, L means label, and C means color. So we click on color, then we give it a color of our choice. I'll be giving it an orange color, and we have it right here. So the next thing we are going to do is to identify our ligand and give it a color as well. Now, this is our ligand. As we can all see, this is our ligand. So we just click on a part of the ligand once. When we click on it, it's going to select the ligand. So we are going to rename it. So to rename, we are just going to click on A, which means action, and click on rename selection. So we are going to name it as our ligand. After renaming our ligand, we are going to change the color of our ligand to any color of our choice. So I'll be changing it to yellow. So the next thing is to make our ligand site a cartoon. And how do we make our ligand site a cartoon? When I'm referring to cartoon now, this representation right here, like the protein itself, it is represented in form of a cartoon. That's what it is named right here. So to make the ligand site, that is the site that the ligand is interacting with, to make it to make the cartoon more obvious is what we're trying to do. And to do that, we are going to click on this A for the complex, then come to preset and come to ligand site. So when we click on ligand site, it's going to ask us if we want to make it a cartoon or a solid face or a solid. So we have several options here, but we are interested in the cartoon. And we can see that it's gradually coming out. So after that, just to have a better view, we are just going to click on A and center it. So now after this, then the next thing is to identify the amino acid in our active site. The amino acids that are present in our active site. So how do we do that? We just come to display, then we come to sequence. Now this is going to display the sequence of our protein, then we can select the amino acid in our active site, just like we did yesterday when Mr. Christopher was taking us through the process of docking with Pyrex. So I have the amino acid listed out here, so I'll just be selecting them. So 6841, 6845, 6, 687, 78, 78, 79, 8, 7. So we just ensure that we select every amino acid. We ensure that we select every amino acid that we selected when we were doing the docking. So after selecting everything, then we are going to rename. We are going to rename when we are done with the selection. 6879, 687, okay, 6897. So now I have the amino acid at my active site. Then I'm going to click on here and rename the selection to the active site amino acid. So now moving on now, the next thing is to select the active site, name it, and give them a color of our choice. So, but before we give it a color of our choice, let's move to the next process, which is to decrease the transparency of the protein. Now, we already know our active site and we know what our ligand is. So we want only the part that interacted with our ligand to be obvious. So to decrease the transparency of every other thing except the site that is interacting with our ligand, we just come to settings, transparency, cartoon, and 80%. We decrease it. So I will be decreasing by 80%. And what we have left is the amino acids that are interacting with our ligand and our ligand itself. So I'll be changing the color of the O complex again. I'll be changing it to orange again to have a better representation than the ligand back to yellow that it was before. Then now I'll be making the representation of the protein before was is in cartoon, but now for the amino acid at the active site, I'll be making their representation balls and stick. I'll just click on I'll click on S show. and I want to show it as a stick. I want to show the amino acid at the active site as sticks. So we can see that these are the amino acid at the active site, and we're already showing them as sticks. So now moving on, the next thing is we need to get for us to make a screenshot, although we are not done, but for us to make a screenshot, we have to get these arrangements right, so that if we have 5 proteins, then we have to keep it in a constant orientation. Like if you want to visualize 5 proteins for your manuscript now, it's not a good practice to have different orientation for the five proteins. So we can just look for an orientation that perfectly shows everything that is happening in the active site, and we maintain that orientation for every other visualization that we are going to do. So now we will be leaving it in this orientation. So the next thing we are going to do is to label the residues and to show their connectors. And how do we label the residues? Like I said earlier, L means label. So we are just going to click on L and we want to label the residues. Now we can see that these are the residues that I selected earlier. So now how do we know the particular residue that each of these labelings that they belong to? So we are just going to show their connector. Like the connector will connect the name to the residue that it belongs to. And to do that, we just come to our settings, we come to label, then we come to show connectors. So now from here we can see label connector set to on. So let's confirm that. To confirm that, we're just going to come to the right part of my screen right now. I'll come there and change this from I will change the mouse mode from viewing. I will change it to editing by just clicking on that viewing. So I've changed it to editing. So to change the position of any residue, to change the position of any labeling, you just hold your control button and you double click on that name. So you can drag it to any position that you want. Although this may lag a little if you are using a system that is a bit slow like mine. But when you just hold the control button down, double click on that name and drag it to a position that you want it. So as you can see, which is what I have done here, you can see that the connection is showing the residue that this particular name here, the one it belongs to. The connector is doing that. So we can then arrange this for every of the residues that we have. Like for this glycine 6871 now, if we want to know the amino acid it belongs to, we can just double click on it and drag it so that the connector can become obvious. Or you can see that it belongs here. Then we can drag it closer to where it belongs. Also, for this one that they look squeezed together, we can separate them. You just double click and hold your control button and you drag it to a place not too far away from the residue it's interacting with. So we are just going to do this arrangement on and on and on till we get an orientation till we get something that we consider perfect for our that is suitable for us. So we just arrange till we get something that we are comfortable with. So when we get that, now how do we get our screenshot? So now first of all, before we go for the final process, which is to enter the command that we have here, I will be changing the color of the ligand. I'll come to element. I want to show color it by element. So I'll just come to C. When I come to C under ligand, then I'll come to color by element and I will choose the first option. You can see that it has colored the ligand by element. We can check what the color code means online. Then for the amino acid at the active site as well, I just click on C, then come to color by element as well. So it will be very easy to, okay, like this now, okay, there's an hydrogen bond between this ligand here and this here and this one here and another I don't know if we are getting me, but let me just I'm just trying to, like, this is just showing us that this here is just showing us that there is an hydrogen bond formed between this ligand and the and this and this particular group that is here, this red part of the amino acid residue. So we can just read more to know what those color code mean. But this is how to visualize on PyMol. So when you arrange all these labelings to something you feel it's okay, and you just get the best orientation that shows everything that is happening at the active site. So you just then we go for our screenshot. And how do we do that? I'm just trying to get a perfect orientation now. Sorry, my system is hanging. So what we just do is we just rearrange and get a perfect orientation. After we rearrange, then we come to the command line that we have here. This command line, we just input ray. Ray is just like a command line for capturing what you have on this screen. Is a command line that is a command that you use for capturing what you have on this screen. So the size that you want, you just input it. So I use 1080. If you want maybe something like 360, so if I input 360 now, we are going to see the size it's going to give me. You can see that the size is small. It's too small, so we can just click on it. When we click on it, so we can input a new command. Be careful when you are clicking so that you won't click some things that are not supposed to be clicked, like I just did. So I'll just be using ray 1080, which gives a better resolution and a better size. So now this takes a few seconds depending on the capacity of your system. So while this is loading, if you have any question on this process, you can drop it. Okay, now we have it. So now to export this as it is now, we just click on file, then we come to export image as, then we select PNG, then we save the PNG to a folder of our choice. So I'll just save it. Okay, LGFR. So when we go to that folder, then it's going to be there. And that's the process of a 3D visualization on PyMol. So I'll be moving very quickly to the 2D visualization. So and the tool I'm going to be using for the 2D visualization is called LigPlot. So we can just go online. If you want to download LigPlot, it's something you can easily get online. A simple Google search will show us where we can download LigPlot. So I'll be navigating to my cPanel to open LigPlot, which is where it will be saved after you install it. This is LigPlot. You just click on it by clicking enter. And for you to use LigPlot, you have to have Java on your system. So I'll be doing this very quickly because of the battery I have on my system.
Mr. Victor, I think I should go over that.
What's that, sir?
The 2D
Okay,
interaction.
that's what I'm about to do.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So this is the software that we are going to be using for LigPlot. So this is the name. You just type it online. Okay, LigPlot
plus, or just input LigPlot on Google, and you are going to have it as maybe the first or the second result. So it will take you to a page where you can download it, and it's something we can all navigate, it's something we can all install ourselves, so there won't be need for saying much on that. And to visualize to the 2D interaction, we just click on File. When we click on File, we click on Open, and what we want to visualize is a PDB file, just like the file that we used for the 3D visualization. That is what we are going to be using for the 2D visualization. So we click on PDB file, and we click on Browse. So it's going to open up our folder. Then we navigate to the folder that contains the complex we want to visualize. So we come to this PC, you just navigate down to the folder. So when we input it, it will automatically detect if our protein has if our complex has 3 ligands inside it, it's going to detect it. If it has 2 chains, it's going to detect it, and it will ask you, okay, which of the chains do you want to visualize, which of the ligand do you want to visualize. But this has only 1 protein and it has only 1 ligand, so it has automatically recognized that PDB code contains 1 protein chain A and 1 ligand. So we click on Run. So when we click on Run, it will show us the 2D visual, the 2D interaction, the interaction as the 2D. Okay, now we have it. So we can increase, we can zoom it out a little so that we can see all the amino acids that are present at the actives that are interacting with this particular ligand. So we can see that we have cysteine 6913, which is forming hydrogen bond. We have all these other residues, and we have aspartate 6912 as well, forming hydrogen bond. So, and this is so to just to save our interaction, we just we can use our sniping tool. We can use our sniping tool. So we can then save to the folder of our choice, and that's how to visualize using LigPlot, which is for 2D visualization. This is how to visualize using LigPlot. So just to quickly say something now, if we are trying to define the active site of a particular protein, so if the protein has a co-crystallized ligand, we can also use this software to determine the active site of that protein. So it's still the same process that I just ran through now that we are going to go through. So I'll be ending it here so that I don't go off a few minutes from now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Victor, for the presentation. Christopher, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I think Mr. Victor already said what I'm to say, but then there are some parameters that you might want to change in the LigPlot software.
Let's save it for let's save it for later.
All right, sir.
Yeah, and Ridwan, are you online?
Yes, I'm online.
Okay, please can proceed with your presentation after I stop talking. Mr. Ridwan will put us through, after you've docked your